All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about something that's basically the gatekeeper to the entire justice system. It's the one thing that decides if you can even get your foot in the courthouse door. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? A deal goes completely sideways, someone is careless, and you're just left fuming, thinking, I should be able to sue for this. But how does that feeling, that sense of being wronged, actually stack up against the law? Well, it turns out that whole impulse, that drive to seek justice, isn't just random. It's actually built around a really specific legal concept. See, it's not enough to feel wronged. You've got to be able to prove you were wronged in a way that the law actually recognizes. And that right there, that's the key that unlocks the whole process. The law gives us this formal pathway, and it's got a name and, you guessed it, some very specific rules. And here it is, cause of action. It sounds a little technical, but really, it's just a specific set of facts and circumstances that give you the legal green light to sue somebody. And these aren't just pulled out of thin air, They come from actual laws, or they've been built up over hundreds of years of court cases. I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. A cause of action is basically a recipe for a lawsuit, right? You can't just toss a bunch of stuff in a bowl and expect a perfect cake. You need the right ingredients in the right amounts. And if you miss even one, well, your whole case could just fall flat. Okay, so for running with this recipe idea, what are the ingredients? What does a court actually need to see before they'll even listen to what you have to say? It really boils down to three main things. First, you've got the facts, just what happened. Second, you have to connect those facts to a legal right that was somehow violated. And third, and this is a big one, you have to show you suffered some kind of loss because of it. And when we say loss, that can mean a bunch of different things. The obvious one is financial, right? You lost money. But it could also be a personal injury, actual physical harm. Or maybe it's damage to your reputation, like if someone lies about you. Or hey, just straight up damage to your stuff. And this quote here, it really hits the nail on the head. It's all about the burden of proof. It makes it super clear that it's your job, the person making the claim, to prove every single one of those essential facts. A court isn't going to do the work for you. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. The recipe isn't always the same. The ingredients you need to prove someone broke a contract, totally different from the ingredients you need for, say, a personal injury claim. Just take a look at these two side by side. For a broken contract, you got to prove a contract actually existed in the first place. But for a negligence claim, like if you slip and fall at a store, you have to prove the store owner owed you what's called a duty of care, to keep you safe. The basic idea is the same, but the specific ingredients you need to prove your case, completely different. All right, I know this is all a little bit abstract, so let's bring it down to earth with a real-world example. It'll make it much clearer how all these ingredients come together. So picture this. You're a fruit seller. You hire a shipping company to get your fresh fruit to a customer. Super simple, happens every day. But what if it all goes wrong? So to build your case, to create your cause of action, you'd have to line up your ingredients. 1, was there a real contract to ship the fruit? 2, did the company break that contract? Let's say they were super late. And 3, did that failure actually cause you to lose something? And that last part, that is everything. It's called causation. You have to draw a straight line from what they did wrong to what you lost. Lawyers have this thing called the but-for test. You have to be able to stand up and say, look, but for the fact that the shipping company was late, my fruit wouldn't have rotted and I wouldn't be out thousands of pounds. And boom, there you have it. All the ingredients are on the table. You've got the contract, the broken promise, and a loss that happened directly because of it. The recipe is perfect. The seller has a solid, valid cause of action. Okay, so why does any of this matter to you if you're not a lawyer? Well, it's actually way more important to your everyday life than you probably think. Because understanding this recipe, it gives you power. It helps you go from just being mad and frustrated to actually figuring out if you have a real legal complaint. It's literally the first step to knowing what your rights are and how you can stand up for them. So I'll leave you with this. Think about it. That time a contractor did a terrible job on your kitchen, or that expensive gadget you bought broke a week later. Once you understand this recipe, you start to see this hidden legal framework all around you. Makes you wonder, right? What other situations have a cause of action just waiting to be noticed?